Hi, I'm Maria Ingalls. We're at Connected Media IP at NAB 2018, and I'm here with Andrew Brown, who's the VP of Sales for THEO Technologies. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you. How are you finding NAB so far?
It's a good place to be, actually. It's been fun. I think I've been there the last few years, and you see the way the industry changes and the dynamics change. And Vegas is one of those places as well. I think they purposely select the location around the fun of video. So you've got IBC in Amsterdam, you've got Vegas for NAB, so yeah. Bring on Cancun and Ibiza. We'll have the Grand Slam.
That would be wonderful.
Absolutely.
After living in the UK, I could use being warm. So you used to be called THEO Player. You've changed to THEO Technologies. Tell me about THEO Technologies.
Yeah, the reason actually for the change is interesting because we've got a brand recognition for THEO Player from a technology standpoint. What we're seeing more though is we're changing as a company, we're evolving, and with that we have the ability to spread our wings from a product standpoint. So THEO Technologies just gives us that angle where we can start to have product families within the company. So that's a major reason for the change. The dynamic still is the same, the core product is still THEO Player.
Yes.
But it does allow us to move into some of the directions around streaming technologies, etc., which will be released later this year.
Okay, and THEO Player is an HTML5 video player.
Yes, it is. Well, actually, the nucleus of the company was HTML5.
Yes.
Things have evolved since those days.
Yeah.
So that's how we, I guess, cut our teeth in the video market. So really building our own technology around HTML5 and really solving some of those problems around delivering a premium video experience without plugins. But the market's changed dramatically, so moving to ensure relevance and really ensure the breadth of viewing experience, we've moved much more into the SDK space as well, so it's a complementary technology. So again, that's where the universal player naming comes on board. So yeah, it's HTML5 as a basis, but really moving more into the different elements of what HTML5 can deliver to different device types.
Okay, yeah, so we're seeing the industry change, as you've been talking about. What are your sort of future directions and future plans for what THEO Technologies is doing?
That's a good question because the term player can mean different things to different companies. So it can be a fairly defined small scope, or it can be relatively significant. And we're trying to really blow that significance out of the water actually in terms of what a player can be.
Yeah.
So because we focus purely on the player technologies, it's really important for us to represent different customer requirements across different sectors and across different regions. So it means you really pack in a lot of functionality into the player capability. Our customers are driving us more and more towards extending the scope of what that means from more of a proliferation of devices standpoint. So we've been really successful in sort of moving the boundary of viewership into more the connected devices, into the streaming devices, into more of the proprietary environments, into the set-top boxes, whether it be Android or whether it be Linux. And it just means for us, it gives us more scope. It means for the customers, it gives them a single player capability, and it allows us to address much more of a market requirement than I think you could in a pure single dimension browser only environment. So we're finding that a real drive when you start looking at different devices, and one of the current limitations in the market is if you have an iOS device, you have a certain user experience. That may differ slightly from an Android device, and it definitely differs extensively from a PC or a connected TV or a set-top box. And we've seen this as being an interesting dilemma that customers face. So one of the elements, or one of the almost mantras internally, is we really want to ensure not just the same performance capabilities of any device, so having a really, really high expectation, really raising the bar as to what video delivery can be, but at the same time ensuring that the features that consumers start to really depend upon are available across devices. So you don't have that situation where you're siloed in your viewing experience. You really have much more a personalized experience where you have a one-to-one relationship with the provider of the content independent of the device you happen to be browsing on. Now, we've discussed that a lot in this industry. I think one of the things we're doing at THEO Technologies is really bringing that to life, because we're actually making that possible across a growing number of devices almost weekly. So it's a real almost fascination within the company to extend the boundary of what's possible. Both new devices, but also legacy devices.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've talked about a lot of things which are absolutely essential for the industry. What do you think differentiates you from everyone else?
You've got to be really good at your craft.
Yes.
If you're focusing on one key element of the video chain. So the video chain's vast, and the player, I think historically, was a little bit overlooked because there was native players embedded in devices, and they served their purpose to an extent. Life's changed, and the dependency on the player as that key liaison point is becoming more and more acute for any industry segment. So from that standpoint, one of the big things which sets us apart is we made the decision early to define the video stack. We really made the decision to build our own video player when the easy option would have been to use something open source and build wrappers on top to expose certain functionality. So in making that decision and doing the heavy lifting in that regard, it gives us the flexibility now to be able to work in different directions for customers. So one of the examples of that is low latency. One of the other examples is how we handle server-side ad insert. We're able to handle it natively within the player using partner capabilities. Partners and customers appreciate it because we're able to move at the market rate.
Yes. And
we're not encumbered by that dependency of something we can't control. Everything we offer, we control, we own. And it becomes more and more important in this video space that element is available. From a customer standpoint, it means they have a dependable partner that gives them that flexibility to still control. One of the things a lot of customers just don't like is having control removed from them. Being in a situation where they can't control their own destiny because they're locked in to certain environments. We actually try to do the opposite. We give them the flexibility in their hands to reach a greater audience with a greater level of functionality and really making that as accessible as possible without having to deal with a real technology complexity of DRM, of analytics, of advertising, etc. And that's well appreciated.
So flexibility at the same time, abstraction from all the things that they don't need to know about.
That's our goal. So it's much more about the overall service relationship with a prospect or a customer, rather than just throwing technology at them saying good luck with that. It's a bit what's been the approach of a lot of technology vendors. Some smart people in our industry, but they sometimes lose the reality of the customer need and really the use case they're trying to deliver. So just having technology for the sake of it doesn't solve the problems or the next generation problems that our customers and their end users are demanding. We think that what we're doing at THEO Technologies goes a long way in actually helping alleviate some of those concerns.
Well, that sounds absolutely wonderful. I thank you so much for joining us,
it's a
and
pleasure.
we look forward to seeing you again next year and finding out more about what's happened.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you.
Great, thank you.